You're in an amazing part of the world. Most of you in this room live here in Turkey. Incredible country. It's only my second time to be back here. I fell in love with it the first time I came here. So I was very excited to come back. And I can tell you, I know there can be challenges to building the business in this part of the world. It's a whole different culture, what we're talking about. But what an opportunity it is here in this part of the world. What an exciting time to be in this business. You know, we're going to do 2 segments today. You know, we're going to have a break in a while, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a second session. And I'm going to talk about a new book that I have coming out called Risky is the New Safe. And that book is about the future and all of the challenges that are going to be created in the future, and then all of the opportunities that are created by those challenges. And that's really, I couldn't think of a more appropriate subject for Turkey right now than that, because it's such a wonderful time to be alive today. It's such a wonderful time to be doing this business right here, right now. Extraordinary opportunity for you. But to make the most of that opportunity, you've got to have the right mindset. Because here's something that I discovered. Broke people think differently than wealthy people. Healthy people think differently than sick people. Happy people think differently than depressed people. They actually think differently. Because here's the thing. The average human being has about 60,000 thoughts a day. Now that seems like a lot, but most of those are the same thought that they have over and over and over every day. Say, I have to brush my teeth. I have to take the cap off the toothpaste. They have the same thought every single day. One of the things psychologists have proven is that these thoughts go through the same pattern in their brain. They go through the same neurotransmitter, and they actually create ruts in your brain. The same thought that you think every day. So the thought goes through the same pathway in your brain every day when you have that same thought. So part of creative thinking, or lateral thinking, is creating new neural pathways in your brain. You literally are changing the way you think. Because that's a mindset for success. And successful people have developed a certain type of thinking, a certain way of thinking, which is founded on belief, by the way. They develop enough belief which causes them to think differently. So, this is what I've been studying for 25 years now, is how successful people think differently. And the funny thing is, I have begun to think differently. And there were people who knew me 25 years ago, and they know me today, and they say, well, Randy has changed. He's not the same person. And you know what? They're absolutely right. I have changed. That's why I'm rich. If I did not change, I would still be poor. So of course I changed. And I'm proud of the fact I changed. And I'm proud of the fact that I change more each and every day. Each and every week, every month, every year, I'm a different person than I was the person before. Because I work on the way I think every day. And you have to work on the way you think every day. You have to be around people who believe in you. You have to be around people who support you. You have to be around people who choose success. People who see a bigger vision for themselves. People who see a bigger vision for you. People who want a brighter future. These are people who think about possibilities, not impossibilities. And it's funny, I'm doing so many interviews for the new book, and so I confessed something on a radio station a couple of weeks ago. And I want to confess it with you guys right now. Here's the confession. I remember reading in the newspaper that Ted Turner was going to start a new television network. And it was going to be called the Cable News Network, CNN. And he was going to do news every 30 minutes. He was going to have a show of the news. Well, I said, this is the craziest idea I've ever heard. Because news, you showed the news at like 10 o'clock at night. There was the evening news. People watched it, and then they went to bed. Once a day. There was a 6 o'clock one at night, too, or something like that. But I said, who would watch a network that was just news all the time? With no entertainment, no sitcoms, no comedies, no programs. I thought that was the craziest idea I have ever heard. But he started it anyway. Then ABC announced they were going to start a new network, and they were just going to show sports all day, every day. Well, I thought this was even crazier than the news network. Because the news, they did at least for half an hour, but the sports was usually just 4 minutes or 3 minutes in the half hour of the news show. Now these crazy people were going to do sports every 30 minutes, every 60 minutes, all day, 24 hours a day. This was the craziest. This was even crazier than CNN. I just thought, they're going to lose a fortune on this. Now fast forward many, many, many years later, I almost never watch television. But if I do watch television, you know what I'm probably watching? CNN or ESPN, which is the network that ABC started for the sports. And they have ESPN2, and they have ESPN3. Because there's so much sports to show that even running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, there's still too much for one network, so they started a second one. There's still too much for the second network, so they started a third one. Now here's the thing I want you to know. I was ignorant. I didn't know about that those ideas could work. But here's the thing I confessed on the radio station the other day. If you would have come to me 20 years ago with the idea for Yahoo or Microsoft or Facebook or Twitter, the iPhone, the iPad, a smartphone. Forget a smartphone. If you would have come to me with the idea for a dumb phone, if you would have come to me for the idea for a cell phone, I would have told you all of the reasons why they could not work. All of the reasons why they would not work. I could have given you every single one of those. I could have, any one of those. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Yahoo, Microsoft, Apple. I could have given you 100 different reasons why they would never work. Because that's where my mindset was at that time. I had impossibility thinking. Because whatever idea you brought to me, I would take all the rational, logical ways, and my default position, my automatic default position, was to think of why this could not work. But see, visionaries, that isn't the way they think. Successful people, that isn't the way they think. They think about how could this work? If it could work, how would it work? If it was possible for this to work, how would it be possible? This is a mindset. And to become successful in this business, or any business, requires to change that mindset. To start to look for possibilities. To start to look for how things can work, instead of why they cannot work. This is what these people in the VIP session, this is what they have done. They have changed the way they think. They look at how things could be possible, why things can work, instead of why things cannot work. You need people like that in your life. Jim Rohn was a very famous American author and speaker. He said, your income will be the average income of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And he said that same quote for many years. He was famous for that quote. Your income will be the average income of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Well, after studying prosperity for the last 25 years, here's what I can tell you. I believe every area of your prosperity will be the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Your health will be the median health of the people you hang around with. Your relationships will be similar to the people you hang around with. Your marriage, if you're married, your marriage will be the average of the 5 couples that you guys socialize with the most. This works true in every area of prosperity. Because we get programmed by the environment around us. We get influenced by this environment, by something that I'm going to call mind viruses. Viruses that you actually get in your subconscious mind.